Hey there, welcome back to Tennille Talks. All right, y'all, so I'm recording this from inside. So the cards are already laid out, and this is going to be a very quick one. Now, when I put the cards out, I immediately thought of a saying in patois. And so there is a Jamaican saying, and it goes, "We lickle, but we tallywa." Lickle means little or small, and tallywa talks about resilience, strong. It talks about the fact that you should not be underestimated. So if you think about the size of the island of Jamaica, it is very small. And so we lickle, but we tallywa says, don't let the size of the island fool you. Now, this reading is about the divine feminine. Divine feminine, the only reason why at times in your life you may have felt small is because of a prison that you were put in. Now, this prison could have been physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, or financial. There were many different ways that the divine feminine, and I'm not speaking about a woman, I'm speaking about the essence that lives inside of humanity. And if you carry the codes of the divine feminine, you carry the blueprint for the new world, the world that we are in the process of building. And so if you know that you carry this essence, you must also know that you carry the codes, the blueprint for everything that is soon to unfold, okay? And so divine feminine, maybe you have felt overlooked. Maybe you have felt weak, not because you believed it, but because of the type of projections that you dealt with, okay? And so if somebody holds that projection of you, then they will treat you a certain way. This reading is literally saying, you don't own me, okay? Now, divine feminine, I feel like you have just come to this belief. You have just come to this, to not that you felt owned, but the way you were treated. People treated you as if they had control over you, as if they had some type of chain that was attached to you. So we're talking about right now, anything that tried to dominate you, you have broken free. Anything that wanted to keep you caged, you have detached. Anything that wanted to keep you from experiencing the freedom of your own essence, you have escaped. And so, you know, when in Batman, when think about the older Batman movies or cartoons or whatever, but when the Batman signal it shines in the sky, it is an indication that like somebody needs Batman to come. And so in this reading, I get the idea that like divine feminine is on the loose. The cage is open. Divine feminine can't be found. And so it is almost like there is a signal that is cosmically being shown. And anybody that attempted to imprison the divine feminine is recognizing that that essence and energy is loose. It is gone, right? We were able to keep it imprisoned in a variety of different ways for a period of time. But right now, it is game time. It is game time, divine feminine. Somebody has gotten a message of concern. And the message of concern is the fact that the divine feminine is in the process of fulfilling their wishes. And so you carry the codes and you carry the blueprint. This blueprint, when it unfolds, when the plan is honored, not only do you gain your sovereignty, but collectively we restore the sovereignty of Earth. Right? And there is the divine feminine that is responsible for paving the way and leading this, right? And so in order to keep you trapped, you physically, mentally, spiritually had to be caged for a certain amount of time, right? And so the reading ends with the divine feminine fulfilling their wishes. And this is concerning for anybody that worked very hard to keep you imprisoned. And I think that when you were imprisoned, you were underestimated. You were seen as little. You were seen as small. But the might of you, the strength of you, the humility of you is what allowed you to break free. There's no chain, there's no prison, there's no cage that could hold you. However long it took you to recognize that, that was all the time that you needed to discover the spiritual strength that lies within you. Okay? I feel like understanding who and what you are, it is a process. It takes time because the world is not going to tell you who you are or what you carry inside. The world is going to deny you of your true identity for as long as it can. And this reading says that we finally gotten to the point where nobody can convince you that you are less than. Nobody can convince you that you are not capable. And so the prison, the cage, whether it was a mental prison, a physical, whatever the cage was, for some of us, we were in a variety of prisons at the same time. And so it is concerning because you were on the loose. You were on the loose. And what you do next, it is going to be determined by the codes and the blueprint that you carry. Those that carry the essence and the energy and the signature of the divine feminine. When you are unleashed, not everybody is going to move the same way and do the same thing at the same time. But we are all carrying pieces to the same blueprint. Now, to begin the reading, it talks about a contract is going to unfold. I feel like Divine Feminine, you had to learn to trust yourself. You had to learn to understand your true identity. And so for however long that you were kept small, I have a card here. It says they keep you hidden away. They keep you quarantined. And they keep you isolated so that those who need you, or really those that need what you have, they won't be able to connect with you. They won't be able to get with you. They won't be able to find you. And so if you were isolated, if you were hidden, and if you were quarantined, that was a methodical plan because you are the jump off. You are the starting point. And nobody really knows where to go or what to do unless there is a leader, unless there is somebody who is supposed to pave the way. And if we're building something, the Divine Feminine is the contract. You have the blueprint. You carry the codes. And so as long as you were isolated, nobody understood how to really make this thing evolve or grow or unfold. But if you're loose, oh, it's time now. It is time now. And so Divine Feminine, you can be trusted. And the reason why you can be trusted is because you finally understand your spiritual strength. I have the Adinkra symbol called for the 5 tufts of hair. And I've mentioned before that this Adinkra symbol, it talks about a specific hairstyle that priestly women, high priestess, would wear. And so the hairstyle represents not only your loyalty to your priestly office, but just the loyalty to the society or the community that you are meant to serve. And so I want you to imagine that you are finally able to rock your 5 tufts of hair. Like you understand the assignment, you understand the office that you serve, you understand the requirements and the parameters of your priestly office. And so you can be trusted. And spiritually, you may not have known how strong you were unless you were isolated, unless you were quarantined, unless you were hidden. All of those things had to happen for you to understand who and what you were. When you understand who and what you are, now you can start to discover what's inside of you. Somebody is worried. Now, when I say somebody, it is not one person. This is a collective. This is a group of people that were able to benefit off of you being imprisoned. Now, one of the ways that you were imprisoned, it was by deluded attachments. So this is essentially lies or false beliefs. Anybody that carried a false belief about you, anybody that projected a false belief onto you that made you feel like you were less than, or made you feel like you weren't called to do exactly what you are doing right now, or whatever you're about to do, like all of those attachments, those things are starting to fade away. There is a specific contract that is going to come about. Now, I don't know if you met this person previously, or Now that you are free, you definitely have the opportunity to meet them. This person is almost coming out as a counterpart. This person is coming out as a priest. And so Divine Feminine, you don't build alone. You don't work alone, right? There were specific people that needed you. And so if you carry the blueprint, then I want you to imagine that everybody else that is responsible for building this home, building this new structure, it's like now everybody can show up for work. Now everybody can fulfill their assignment. Now everybody can bring their tools, and it is you who is going to tell everybody what to do, how to do it, and where to go. And so whatever you are building or creating in your community, there are certain people that are assigned to you, right? And so you lead and they will follow. Now, one of the reasons why people are concerned is because there were certain lies told about you. There was just an entire narrative that didn't reflect who you were. But I almost feel like that had to happen in order for you to understand your spiritual strength. And so that's what I was getting when I was thinking or hearing, we lickle, but we tallywa, right? And so you may look very small, sometimes insignificant, sometimes like you have no value or no true worth based on how the world measures you. You could be man, you could be woman, it doesn't matter. But just the way you show up, it is almost like people couldn't even imagine the spiritual strength. And so when we're talking about Jamaica for just a minute, if you look at the size of the island, this is almost like saying, just because the island is small, it is not an indication. It is not a boundary. Like the island may be small, but it can't hold you. Like don't get it twisted, right? There is a resilience and there is a strength inside of you. And if people looked at your vessel, they may not be able to perceive you as you truly are. Somebody is worried. Somebody is worried because there is a contract that is unfolding. If you know who you are, then there is no chain that can be attached to you that will keep you from being free. And so Divine Feminine, you have escaped the cage or the prison. Now, although there is a group of people that are kind of feeling some type of concern, and they're only concerned because you are now free to fulfill your wishes. You are now allowed to have a new beginning. And this is coming in fast. This is movement. This is momentum. This is travel. This is communication. This is like you being on the phone and you're like, all right, I need the plumber. I need the roofer. Right? I need the electrician. I need the landscaper. Like that's the movement. If you understand that you carry the blueprint, well, now it's like you are assembling your team. There is a specific contract that is supposed to come along with you. Now, this could be another contractor, right? The two of you are supposed to come together to build this home, this structure. Now, the reason why this contract is so fierce, so feared, is because you and this person, now we don't have to necessarily call this a divine masculine, but this is somebody that carries the same multidimensional memory that you do. So Divine Feminine, the codes, the blueprint that you carry, you've done this before. And there is somebody that you are going to link up with that carries the same codes as you. And so when you two come together, what you build is going to be a part of the new world. This is what we all came back for. This is why we are all here right now. And so I just want to say something. Divine Feminine, you don't have to wait on an eclipse. You don't have to wait on a specific day, a specific hour, a specific moon cycle. It is now. It is now. Do not wait to be told to take a step. Do not wait to be told anything, because you are the jump off. You are the starting point. Wait for nothing. Wait for no one. I just want you to go. Now, for a period of time, it seems like when you were imprisoned a few different ways. One, deluded attachments. So these are mental projections. Maybe you didn't believe that you were less than, but if everybody around you is not able to recognize you, then it's like the people that are supposed to be working with you, it's like they're almost hesitant. Right? And so diluted attachments was one of the ways that allowed you to almost be held captive, right? Because people could only perceive you as being small. Next is we have the energy of a thief. And so there are certain new beginnings that you are supposed to have. There may have been times where you're supposed to have new beginnings with specific people, and it shows that they were robbed from you because you carry this multidimensional memory and somebody else has it too. Y'all, there are whole businesses and entities and corporations that only exist to make sure that those of us that carry these codes and these blueprints never cross paths, which is why you got to be isolated and quarantined and hidden. Because if you link up with your squad, it's trouble. Right? And so your new beginnings were stolen. There were diluted attachments. And at the same time, there was abuse. The abuse was to your solar plexus. That's your willpower. That's your strength. Right? And so as long as you were abused, you were not supposed to be able to make ethical decisions. Your decision making was to be off. It was to be distorted. It was to be skewed. How can you carry the codes and the blueprint, but your decisions are not reflecting the power and the potential that you truly carry, right? And so anything that has been done to you, it is a plan. It was a structured plan. It was designed a certain way to keep you from breaking those chains that kept you bound. In the center of the reading, what was hidden from you is that there is a Two of Cups. There is a Two of Cups relationship that is going to unfold. Now, this person is coming out as a priest. Now, when I see priest, I am, in my mind, this is a person that has been ordained by the Most High. It doesn't mean that they have to carry a priestly office or they have to be a part of an organization or some type of religious group. But it means just like the Most High chose you to carry specific codes, there is a partnership where this person is carrying that same vibration, frequency, or energy inside of them. That is a new beginning that was robbed from you, whether you knew it or not. If you know you crossed paths with somebody, but you were prematurely separated, that is what I'm talking about. If you never got to link up with this specific person as a result of you being chained or bound, this is going to unfold. And so in the center of the reading, it is trouble. It is trouble because if you are free, you are also free to find your mate, your counterpart, your business partner, whoever you're supposed to build with, whoever you're supposed to plan with. Now, this was hidden from you. The part that was hidden from you is that this was stolen from you, a new beginning. And so this was supposed to unfold at an earlier time, right? And so you're here now, but it's final now, right? So this could be like a second time. This could be another attempt. But I feel like the reason why the separation happened, because remember, everything happens for our good, all things are working out in our favor, is because you had to understand how strong you were. You had to recognize you had to break your chains. You had to break your chains. It could have been mental, it could have been emotional, so there were still a few chains that you were bound to. So even if you did cross paths with this person, it wasn't quite time because your spiritual strength hadn't been revealed to you in every way that it needed to be, right? And so what is hidden from you is that there is specific Two of Cups. There is a partnership where you both carry this memory, you both carry these codes. And when you two get together, wealth is ensured. And when I'm talking about wealth, I'm talking about wealth in every way possible. Now, there is a Queen of Swords, a Queen of Swords. Now, when we're talking about a Queen of Swords in the upright, this is somebody that honors truth. This is somebody that cuts through the bullshit, right? This is somebody where you can't really pull a wool over their eyes. They see, right? They see physically, but then they also are very intuitive. They're very intelligent. I'm not talking about the Queen of Swords in the upright. I'm talking about a lying, scheming, deceptive person that has done everything possible to steal from you, to lie, to cheat, this person has done it all. Right now, this Queen of Swords is stressed, and they're stressed because if you are out of prison, not only are you free, but that means that the truth is free. The truth about who this person is, the truth about what this person did, right? And so your freedom is causing conflict, not only collectively, but individually for the people in your life that were responsible for making sure that the chain on your prison stayed locked and closed. You were never supposed to find the key. And for the divine feminine to find the key, it is not a physical key, it is a spiritual key. And the spiritual key is your strength. Your strength is the key that can get you out of any prison, in any dimension, in any realm, on any timeline. It is the strength of the spirit in you that refuses to allow you to be bound. And so right now, it is your humility. You are coming out as the Adinkra symbol, as the ram's horn, which is literally humility and strength. Maybe you had to learn how strong you were. And if you've been in prison for the majority of your life, then absolutely you had to learn how strong you were, because up until that point, everything was a projection, right? And so this Queen of Swords is reaping what they have sown. And they have done things specifically in your life to steal from you, to keep you in prison. They abused your solar plexus chakra so that you were poor in your decision making. This is the type of person that protested. What were they protesting? Now, this is somebody that was expecting financial growth. I feel like as long as the lock on your prison stayed closed, this person was able to receive some type of monetary gain. And so this is somebody that didn't want you to be able to mentally make a choice. They didn't want you to decide. We have the energy of the Two of Swords, but you're also coming out with a guardian angel. And what does your guardian angel guard? Your solar plexus chakra. And so this says, listen, you have a higher power that protects you. There are going to be difficult situations. There are going to be misfortunes. But as long as you trust your guardian angel, there is nothing that, spiritual burp. There's nothing that you can't get through, right? There's no way you carry the codes and the blueprint and you don't have a force with you, right? But you had to learn to trust who you were, what you were, and the fact that you are protected. You have protection at all times. You may not have known that a relationship or a connection was hijacked, right? But there is going to be some type of evidence, some type of proof. Somebody is going to detect that something was actually stolen from you. Y'all, this could be physically stolen. There's a Queen of Swords who is stressed, and they are stressed because the truth is coming out. The truth is coming out about resources. So if you know that in the physical world, somebody actually stole something from you to make sure that you never got free, to make sure that you couldn't build and create and establish exactly what you were called here to do, this is what is coming out. But it is only because of your spiritual strength that we have gotten to this point in the story. Right? And what has happened to one divine feminine has really happened to all of us that carry the codes. This is a collective plan. If you carry the codes, at some point you have been imprisoned. And so somebody is worried, and they're worried because we have the energy of the Six of Swords. This is moving on, moving on. You are going to be seen as somebody who can be trusted. Now, I have the energy of a marriage, But when I see marriage, I'm really thinking of a contract. There were certain contracts that were never supposed to unfold. There were certain contracts that were never supposed to be established. And it's because you were supposed to not be as spiritually strong as you were. You weren't supposed to be trusted. People were never supposed to know that you were the high priestess or you had some type of priestly position, right? And that's what I mean about the diluted attachments. And so somebody is stressed and worried and confused because you're moving different. And if you're moving different, well, then you're not thinking or believing the lies that were projected onto you for so long. And if you're moving on from the false narratives about who and what you were, now you're going to start looking. And if the divine feminine seeks, then the divine feminine will find. If you keep looking, if you keep searching, then the truth is going to reveal itself to you. And that is why this one person specifically, this Queen of Swords, now listen, the Queen of Swords can manifest in many people. It doesn't have to be one person. This is like a spirit, an energy, or an entity that can hop into different people. Right? And so as long as you are in the company of these people, it could be somebody that you've been in a relationship with, somebody at work, somebody that you've been friends with, somebody, you know, it is almost like these are the type of people that have always wanted to hold the keys to your prison. But now somebody is stressed because they are in the same mental prison. They are in the same mental prison that they were responsible for keeping you in. And so there was a new beginning that was stolen, but you will also find out a truth about resources, right? Whatever people had to do to keep you from breaking free, they did it. If you have money, that it allows you to have freedom of choice. You move differently, you live differently when you have access to all of your finances, right? If they had to abuse you emotionally so that you didn't have the willpower or the strength to really lead your life and make decisions that were ethical and moral, then that's what they did. If they had to blind you in the spirit so that you couldn't see, so that you didn't have access to clarity and discernment and intuition, then they blinded you in the spirit. And so the reading begins with saying, listen, the divine feminine is about to show up to work. The divine feminine is putting those 5 tufts. The divine feminine is wearing the right hairstyle. And if you are wearing this hairstyle, right, which doesn't have to be a physical hairstyle, it talks about an energy or a frequency. If you are living in the frequency of your priestly office, this can only mean one thing, that you actually are free. You are no longer isolated. There's no prison that you can be put back into, right? Anybody that was kept away from you, any contract that was robbed, any money that was stolen, any abuse, the abuse of your solar plexus, y'all, all of this. This reading says it's time. This is exposure. Anything hidden from you, it was only hidden from you because you weren't supposed to remember who you were. You weren't supposed to remember that exactly what you are about to do now on earth, you've actually done this before. Right? And there was a specific partnership that you were supposed to have a new beginning with because you both carry this memory. Your new beginning is here and it is coming in fast. The support that you haven't had, the partnerships that you didn't have access to, people that, you know, and it's really about caring connections, supportive connections. As long as you were imprisoned, anybody that kept you bound, they kept you from people, places, and things that would have honored you for who you were. Y'all, somebody is stressed, they have a headache, they can't sleep because the evidence is out about what they have done to you. They were expecting you to still be bound by the abuse. This is somebody who didn't, you know, for a Queen of Swords to go against a divine feminine, they were always going to lose. And the only reason why it appeared that they were doing better or that they were successful at what they had done to you is because you hadn't yet discovered how strong you really were, right? Diluted attachments. But when you know who you are, when you believe who you are, the game changes. So resources, the truth about your resources, the truth about your new beginnings in terms of connections, the abuse of your solar plexus chakra, which gave somebody else good fortune. Somebody else was able to get inheritance and assets and investments as long as you were being abused. And so your new beginning is here. Your strength and your humility is what got you here. Your strength and your humility is what got you here. All right, Divine Feminine, this is, oh my God, this is 30 minutes. I said it wasn't going to be long. Y'all, yeah, this is eclipse week, but I'm telling you, don't wait for a cycle. Don't wait for nothing. Like, you are here now. You need to move, think, feel. Everything you do needs to reflect the fact that you are in position. If you got to go put 5 tufts, if you have to go look up that hairstyle to understand how to wear your hair, then go do it. Whatever you have to do to reveal to yourself that you're at work, you are actually in position. Like, you have clocked in. The Divine Feminine has clocked in. And whoever thought that they owned you, they know now for sure that they don't. You're free. You're detached. You've escaped. Anything that dominated you for a period of time, for seasons of your life or your story, is done. Like, every wish is to be fulfilled. Your new beginning, it was stolen once, at least in the center of the reading. There was a 2 of Cups that was supposed to be a new beginning. This was hidden from you. So this is coming back around. And this is concerning because somebody was expecting you to make the wrong decision. But when you recognize how strong you were, it was impossible for you not to make the right choices. And so this is you literally, this is like somebody breaking your GPS system. And the only reason why you made it to the correct destination is your loyalty, your strength, and your humility. You just were like, fine, I'll just rely on my character. You know, I will just move in the traits of my character. And you still got to where you were supposed to be. This was not supposed to happen. Per the people that kept you imprisoned or bound by something. And so this is a big week. I think the thickness and the heaviness of the energy that I've been feeling, I think it's because it's almost like people recognize, like, it's happening. It has already happened. And so the only thing that is left to take place is whatever was hidden, it must now come to light. And so who you are, the fact that you can be trusted, the fact, like, it's all coming out. It is all coming out. And you've always had a guardian angel, even during times of abuse, right? Your ability to make ethical decisions, your ability to not become an abuser even when you were abused. Like, trusting your guardian angel is honestly what also got you here. When you couldn't trust anybody else on earth, but you recognized that you had some type of spiritual protection, like, this is also what got you here. Like, the Divine Feminine is back online. And this is concerning. This is absolutely concerning. And so, yeah, I kind of got the image of the Batman signal, you know? Cosmically. All right, y'all. I love you. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.